Hi there, beautiful beings. How are you today? How are you feeling? So I just thought I'd bring awareness around the fact that I'm changing servers, I guess, or I'm not sure what the word is for uh, where I have my websites now. So if some of you are looking for the old website that has all the books on it, that's all been taken down. It's been taken down. So the same will happen if you're looking for the forgiveness course or the self-love course or any of those beautiful courses that we created last year. I was just finding it was too expensive to keep it on the Katra platform. So we're going with a different platform and we're just slowly moving everything over to that. So just be patient, and the courses will slowly throughout the year be available again. So we'll let you know when they're all up and running, and when the page or website, I'm thinking we might have a separate website for the books. I like having that separate to the other services, there might be a page there that you can get the ebooks, because I own them. I can always sell them a little bit less than what you might get them elsewhere. But apart from that, just letting you know, if you're looking for the forgiveness course, because there's all this information on it, over at the Facebook page, that's down at the moment until we put it all onto this new platform, but it takes time to get it all up there. So at the moment, all we have is the coaching that we're focusing on. And with that, I wanted to share this gorgeous story of what happened this week and how spirit works and how beautiful spirit is. I had created all these beautiful flyers to put up, promoting the coaching and to create awareness around it, for people. And I work with the elderly. A lot of you know that I work with the elderly throughout the day, on a few days of the week. And most times they send me to this particular, I'm always going to this same place throughout the week, right? And it's like half an hour from my house. And each week I go there, and Mondays I'm usually there for about 6 hours. So because it's such a long day there with this beautiful lady, I get my lunch and I get, I stop off. There's a Woolworths there. So I'll stop off, I'll get my lunch, I'll get a juice. I usually like getting juices from there as well, because I don't find them anywhere else, those particular juices. And I'll go for a nice walk. I do all of that. And I've been doing that for over a year now, right? This routine. But now, as I'm putting up my flyers, I notice they actually have a notice board where you can put up your flyers for free. You don't have to ask anyone. It's just, and I hadn't noticed it ever before, and I'd been going to this Woolworths for over a year now to visit these beautiful elderly people I work with. Anyway, so I saw the notice board, and I thought, okay, I'll have to print some out and bring some tomorrow, because I'm there almost every day of the week, weekdays. So I had it, and I go in the next day, right? I had it all ready. I go in the next day, and there's this big A4 ad about something, this huge paper. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to move it. I'll make room for my little ad. There was room there for it. Mine was only a half a page. So I thought, I'll make room. I'll put it up there, move it out of the way so I can fit mine nicely underneath it. As I'm doing that, I'm adjusting the other one, moving it out of the way so it's not taking up the whole board, on this side. This beautiful young girl in the Woolworths uniform approaches me, and I said to her, look, I'm just moving this to make space, and I was just going to come and ask if I need to see anyone about putting a flyer up on the notice board, right? And she comes over to me and she says, no, it's you don't need to ask permission, you just put it up there. And she said, what's it for? And I said to her, I'm a life purpose coach. I help people, I assist people with their life purpose. And she said to me, you should put that in the middle. People need that. That was so funny. And I said, okay. I said, but the middle looks a bit chaotic. Like there was a lot going on in the middle of this board. So I said to her, that's why I was making this little space over here, because mine has this hot pink. It ended up that was my color for this year. So I had this hot pink, almost magenta, and I'd put it over to the side here. And I said to her, thank you. That's really kind of you. And I look over, I go in and I get my usual sandwich that I get, and I got the juice and I got all that. And as I'm coming out, I see her again, this gorgeous girl, and I look at her name tag, and her name is Faith. And I said to her, oh my God, I said, I love your name, but it just feels like a sign, And it's the day before I'd been in this gorgeous meditation, and they were the two words that came up: trust and faith. To have trust and faith in spirit, that everything it's already happening, it's already happening. Or as my beautiful friend in New Zealand says, it's already happened, So she's a firm believer that things have already happened. So I love that. But for me, it's happening, it's already afoot. It's already, because that's the intention, to help people with their life purpose. I love that. And I love all the tools and techniques, that we've been learning this year. But the story was just what happened was just so beautiful, that she'd come to approach me to tell me, sure, put it in the middle. More people need that. It was like confirmation from spirit, that yes, just put it there. People will find it. People will need it. And then I was guided, one of my friends, one of the coaches that we practice with, because even though we're working, we're still doing a lot of practice behind the scenes with other coaches, improving ourselves, always improving with the beautiful techniques, getting rid of the blocks, getting rid of resistance, getting rid of whatever there is that might be in the way. Still, that's why all this stuff is like coming up so rapidly this year, because it's like we're constantly, healing, I guess is the word, because that's how it feels, And recently I felt guided to go back over the whole course that we did, the coaching of last year. And as I'm going through the first video, there's our beautiful mentor, our teacher. And he was describing that he had done this course in shamanism. Now, when I was doing the course with him last year, I don't remember that in the conversation at all. For some reason, when I went in this time, that's all I could hear. That's what stood out to me. And I started to look into it. I started to dig deep into it. And then all this beautiful information started to unravel, The first time I went into the Akashic records, one of the first times, I can't remember if he was there the first time or the second. I remember him every time I see him there. There's this beautiful Native American Indian, and he has the feathers, long hair, and the feathers in his hair, which I'm told are eagle feathers, and he's got an eagle on his right shoulder. I'm not very good with left and right, so you'll have to bear with me. But it's on his right shoulder. Every time I see him, it's on that shoulder, now that I think of it. So, and I was shown this the first time, and I was given the word healer with that. And I kept seeing the word healer. And I didn't know what that meant at the time. After I did my Reiki course, and I'd see that image more and more, I was told after that I was that powerful healer. I was that in previous lifetimes. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. But it didn't make sense to me at the time. I just took the information. I just sat there. When you pick something up and you're like, okay, I'm just going to put it here for a minute because it's not really making sense to me right now. It's not resonating and I'm not feeling it, like the truth of it. I can't feel the truth of it yet. So I put that to the side. But he keeps appearing every day. And I've even had dreams, of, I guess they tell me that's me. And I was this beautiful male, Native American, shaman, many lifetimes ago. many lifetimes ago. And so what happened? I was listening to this gorgeous course, day one, and there's my teacher talking about shamanism course and his experience with shamanism. And what he was describing in his shamanism course was exactly what I see when I go into Reiki distance healings. The penny dropped. I was like, oh my God. It was like that got unlocked when I did the Reiki course. It was sitting dormant inside of me, because when I do distance healings, many times I get mountains, sometimes I get pyramids, lakes, so many times I get lakes, mountains, they're very common. I get all this imagery from nature, trees, a bird, flowers, lots of flowers. I didn't know what it meant. And thanks to this beautiful course that I've done, and through it we learn the guru technique, which is one of the gorgeous techniques we walk you through in the gorgeous coaching courses that I've got now. The 8-week breakthrough course, that is one of the techniques that you learn for yourself. And it is so freeing to learn that beautiful technique, because in that you learn to interpret for yourself. You know, up until then, I was always asking my friend in New Zealand, because she's psychic, oh, look, I just did this healing with this person, this Reiki distance healing, and this came up and that came up, and, you know, there was a mountain and there was a dove, a white dove, say, for example, and there was a lotus flower. Like, say that those were the things that came up. I said, to what does that mean? I get the vision very strongly of what it is, but I can't, at the time, I couldn't work out what it meant. And for me, it was very important that I pass those things on to that person, that it was up to them to interpret, because it was their energy that I was reading when I was in there, you know. So I thought, I can't really interpret it for someone else because I don't know what it means to them. What does a pyramid mean to them? You know, what does the dove mean to them in that area, wherever it was? Every area I go to will have a different image, a different visual for me. Sometimes I get the full energy, which is really beautiful, but I will still get visuals, you know, like sometimes I get the pure energy and that's all I get, which is really lovely to be in that space. But many, many times I will get visions, you know, of things here on earth. It's just beautiful, so beautiful. And now I can interpret them for myself, which is even better. You know, I sit with it, especially when I'm doing it for myself, or I can interpret dreams, things that come up in dreams, and you think, oh, what was that? You know, and then you go through the guru technique. It's like, wow, you know, it's amazing. So, you know, there's all of that, learning to interpret things for yourself. And as he was talking about the shamanism course, I was just really drawn this time. I thought I was going in to just refresh my techniques with the coaching, you know, get more skills, but it wasn't. That was the information that I was meant to pick up. And off I went down the rabbit hole, searching shamanism now. And I found this beautiful group here in Australia called One Tribe. And I went into theirs, and there's 8 hours of diving into shamanism that they offer you as an introduction. And it was so beautiful. And for the first time, I felt home. I felt like this was it. You know, it's all about unconditional love, about being the light, about being the love fully, about being of service. Like, everything in there resonated with my heart and just made me so happy. Like, this was, it's like I've been waiting for this my whole life, to remember this. And then it made complete sense to me when I was listening to those beautiful videos. I'm listening to all the information. Everything felt like, I know this. within my being, I know this, I am this. And that vision of that beautiful shaman that I was, that healer that I was, such a long time ago, feels like it's still in there, dormant, you know, like it hasn't, I haven't stepped into that yet fully. So it's just remembering and, you know, remembering. But we are this unconditional love. You know, shamanism isn't just for a select few. You are the unconditional love. You know, I would recommend it to everybody. It's beautiful, so beautiful, this course. You know, and just the way he explains it as well. He's so Aussie and he's just so cute, you know. There's all these gorgeous expressions in there, like when he says he's tickled pink, and I just think he's so gorgeous. He's so authentic, I think, is what resonates with me. I just love him. So, yeah, I'm very interested in continuing with that beautiful path as well, like expanding myself. You know, every course I find is another expansion. And it's so beautiful, you know, to know more about myself, to know more about my gifts, to develop those, you know, to not be afraid of them. Although that part isn't something that I've ever had fear around. It was just remembering the truth, you know. So I can't wait to get more into their course, the shamanism course. I just have to I wait for they've got retreats that they run you through, you know, all there, and they're fully booked at the moment, so I'll just have to wait and just sit with what they've given me for now. I figure that, you know, there is such a thing as divine timing. It'll come when I'm ready for it. It'll happen. So, my beautiful beings, it was just about sharing beautiful stories, beautiful things that have happened, that when you open your heart, Spirit will talk to you, it will guide you to your path, you know, to all the beautiful things inside of you. The beautiful heart. Everyone has that beautiful heart, that beautiful knowing that they are unconditional love. It's in there. Doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter what you've said. Remember, everything you have said and done has served others on their path. I mean, look at everything I got from what I've been through with my cousin in the last 10 years. That was incredible. But at the time, it was so hurtful. So hurtful, all of it. But I was meant to go through it, to be here, to be able to share this beautiful information, that it is all for you, that you may know yourself, that you may know who you are, that you may remember. All right, my beautiful beings. We love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And we'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye for now.